Hi, I'm Allie Royer, and I'm here to speak about how to make your Facebook even more private. This is a little bit of a how-to video, so I hope you enjoy. So the video I'm making is targeted towards a specific audience, and this audience I thought would be best fit for college students and those maintaining a career or seeking employment. I felt like this was the best because college students are going to be taking part in activities that may be questionable. People are going to be snapping pictures, posting them, and even though someone else might think it's appropriate, they might not be comfortable with it. And yet, there it is on social media where other family members, anyone else can see. Also, if you're like me, you're seeking out a job right now, and many employers are going to be looking through your social media sites and wondering, what you're up to. And you don't really want them looking at all these pictures from parties in college, where you're at the bars. Some of those stuff are really questionable and your future employers probably shouldn't be seeing. So this is the audience that I feel is best to target. So there are a lot of misconceptions out there about Facebook and the privacy settings that they offer. A lot of people feel that if they just click like profile private, that no one can see anything unless they're friends with them. But really, it goes a lot deeper than that. And I've heard from a lot of my peers, Facebook users, that they think that employers, their grandparents, that they can't see this because they have their profile in private. But Facebook has gone long ways now, and now it goes deeper settings as far as public, friends of friends, friends. So, what I want from you in this how to, I really want you to focus and pay attention to the point I'm getting across of how important privacy is on Facebook. And I really want you to just take the time to, follow these steps, go through, make sure your settings are aligned with what you want your viewers to see. And I just think it's really important, and everyone should just kind of make sure that their Facebook has stuff that their employers or their grandparents would approve of. And so that's just what I want from you after this how to do your part and make sure your profile is set to the privacy settings that you would like. So step one, look at your current profile from a stranger's perspective. So this is something that I did after going through my course and kind of realizing where I stood with my privacy settings. And I think this is huge to get yourself going and really get an understanding of how private your profile really is. So the way you do this would be logging in to someone's account that you're not friends with on Facebook. And this kind of gives you a view of what your profile looks like from their perspective. So what can they see? Can they see your profile pictures? Can they see your tagged pictures? Can they see your posts on your timeline? Can they see your friends? And this kind of breaks it down for you and shows you really how in depth Facebook's privacy settings go. I know personally I felt like my profile was completely hidden. I had set that people could see my profile pictures, and that was the only thing on my profile that they could see before becoming friends with me. Whereas when I looked from a stranger's perspective, I noticed it was much more than that. They could see my tagged photos because of friends, and that was something I didn't feel comfortable with. I know I've been tagged in photos that, unless I approve them, I don't want my timeline, but yet they could see them, being that my profile was technically not as private as I thought. So, step two is get familiar with the settings on Facebook. Read through, make sure you understand what you're working with. So, getting familiar with the settings, I pulled up a privacy and settings tool page from Facebook, and I'm just going to kind of run through it to get you guys familiar. So, who can see my stuff? So, you have the who can see your future posts, review all your posts and things you're tagged in, limit the audience for posts you've shared with friends or friends of or public, who can contact me? So, who can send you friend requests on Facebook? Who can look me up? So you have who can look you up using the email address you provided through Facebook, who can look you up using the phone number you provided through Facebook, as well as do you want search engines to outside of Facebook to link to your profile. So step three of my how-to will be selecting the viewers. These are those drop-down boxes that you might see stating friends, only me, or public. So next is the deeper settings within these privacy settings and tools. Like I said earlier, Facebook is much broader than just setting your profile private or non-private. So here you see a drop-down box of under who can see my stuff. And this is familiar with each of the posts that I read earlier in this how-to. And they usually come with public, friends, and only me. So public is anyone on or off Facebook. They can search you through Google and pull up your Facebook page. Friends are just your friends on Facebook, so those people that you have accepted their friend request. And then only me, like your profile is just there for you to see. Some people do this when they only have their Facebook for communication. They don't want people looking at their stuff. It's more of just so they can contact other people. So this drop down box happens to come about for most of the settings within, and it'll appear under pictures. So who do you want, like tag pictures or your pictures that you've uploaded? Who do you want to see them? And they also for pictures have a friends of friends. So your friends on Facebook, the people that they've accepted their friend request will also be able to see those pictures. So that's like an added extra feature that you should be aware of. And then who can contact me? Underneath the drop down box will also have public, friends, and obviously not only you, and then friends of friends. And then who can look me up? You'll also have the friends, public, only me. And then for do you want search engines outside of Facebook to link to your profile? That's a yes or no. So I kept mine as no. That way it's kind of harder to find me. It keeps my profile a little more private. So step 4 of my how-to is private friend interactions. So who can post on your timeline and who's allowed to tag you in photos. So next on the privacy part, this you will find on all the way to the left. Underneath privacy is timeline and tagging. So timeline and tagging settings are also related to privacy. So I figured I would go through them because they will impact what your posts are and who's tagging you and what, and you can change those settings. So who can add things to my timeline, which refers to who can post on your timeline, review posts friends tagged you in before they appear on your timeline. So you can change those settings to either friends, public, or none, and then review posts tagged in before they appear on your timeline. I put those on because I just like to review and make sure I approve of whatever is being associated with me on my timeline. So that's simply an on or off. Who can see these things on my timeline? So review what other people see on your timeline, and that's like a view as type thing. Who can see posts you've been tagged in on your timeline? So mine's set to friends of friends, and you can also mix with that with only me, friends, public. Who can see what others post on your timeline? And mine is simply just friends. I want to keep it a little more private, so friends of friends aren't necessarily allowed to see everything. And then how can I manage tags people add and tagging suggestions? So review tags people add to your own post before the tags appear on Facebook. I put that off simply because I mean the people that are going to be tagging my own posts are most likely going to be my friends, but that's simply an on or off for you. Um, when you're tagged in a post, who do you want to add to the audience if they aren't already in it? And I just kept mine at friends. And then who sees tag suggestions when photos that look like you are uploaded? And that's also friends. So tag suggestions are kind of iffy. That's why I keep mine as review, just because if I am tagged a photo based off the tag suggestions and it's not me, I still have to approve it. So these are great because it really makes sure that you have to approve these settings, and it is really helpful when it comes to photos that you don't want to be associated with or don't want on your profile. And I think that's really important for college students because, like I said earlier, there's a lot of settings that yes, you're there, you're having fun, but do you really want your grandparents or future employers to see? Probably not. So, yeah, just a great tip to have. So, if you're not already convinced to go to your Facebook profile and kind of make these changes and realize how important it is, here's some statistics that might change your mind. So, here's some statistics that really just put it in perspective of how important this is for you to take these steps and make sure your profile is private. 51% of employers who research job candidates on social media said they found content that caused them to not hire the candidate. This was found on careerbuilder.com. Not to mention, 43% of employers use social media and networking sites to research job candidates, and this was also found on careerbuilder.com. Then, the worst of all is 13 million US Facebook users don't change privacy settings. Come on, people, this is huge. So, this is what I'm going to leave you with. Follow these steps, realize how important it is, and you could make a huge change in your future. So, I have one more set of statistics that pertain to my how-to before I end this video, and that is, even a seemingly innocent remark on some social or political issue could put your candidacy at risk if the hiring manager doesn't happen to agree with your point of view. So I found this statistic, or I guess quote, on CBS News, and I thought it really pertained to this how-to because a lot of people think that companies won't hire them, or it's bad when there's like drugs or alcohol related, but they never really think about like their opinionated remarks on like their timeline or on someone else's timeline that could be seen by the public. And so if you haven't followed the steps that I'd mentioned above about keeping your profile completely private, then you should probably refrain from these remarks, just because this is your opinion and someone is more likely going to disagree with it. And just especially while you're trying to get hired, I would just shy away from that. And another quote that I had found on Forbes was, the reddest flags for most employers seem to be drugs, drinking, bad-mouthing former employers, and lying about their qualifications. So I thought that was kind of interesting because some of those, like, you don't even realize that are being posted. Yeah, you see the pictures of the drinking and the drugs and whatnot, but what about when you're sitting in your past workplace and you mention how terrible it is on your timeline, or something about your boss or a coworker? Like, that could be seen by the public, and when you're getting a referral in a future company, like, that could move forward with you, and like that kind of sticks with you in the future and for your further companies that you work for. And I just think, try to refrain from any remark that could be taken in a negative way on these social media sites. So that's all I have for you. I hope this how-to was very helpful in just, keeping your opinions to yourself, keeping the drugs, the alcohol, all those pictures off, and, really going through my steps that I'd given to make your profile private, because it's in your best interest, and especially if you're seeking employment. I've learned a lot through this course, and I just wanted to help anyone else in the future. So thank you.